Television has always been more than entertainment. It has been a witness in the room, a place where democratic conversations have taken shape and where the public found clarity in moments of national tension. Now, long before social media arrived with its noise, TV stood as the trusted town square, where Nigerians gathered to understand their world. It shaped public consciousness and helped hold leaders accountable. Those early days gave us the golden age of news reportage. Veteran broadcasters carved out a culture of integrity, balance, and fearless storytelling. Their commitments to the truth laid the path for the current generation and kept television at the center of credible public opinion. Even today, with the rise of digital platforms, people still return to TV when they need verified information and calm analysis, especially when democracy is on the line.
Of course, this morning we're joined by a voice who understands this journey better than most. Mr. Tokunbo Ojekunle, I hope I got it there. He's a veteran broadcaster whose work has helped to define the standards we still follow today. And it is, I'm blushing.
Yeah.
Same here.
I'm blushing.
It's glad to have you here. Let me let them know exactly what was happening before
Thank you.
Yeah.
We came on air. Queen was eager to take one of the bits here, and I'm like, no, it has to be me. And then she says, that's the excitement that you actually don't see on air. There's that excitement behind the cameras when the cameras aren't on us. It's something we do with passion. But I don't think that we do it with as much passion as the veterans did it. And here with us we have one of such people. With
little or not as much visuals and coverage as we do now.
Yeah, exactly. But they were yet very passionate about it. Yes, sir, we're talking about you.
Who wrote the script? Who designed the script?
This is organic. This is organic.
I must confess, I got glued at the reception.
Oh.
And I'm not saying it because I'm not a member of the house, but I have friends here. But what I've seen today is actual broadcasting at its best.
Oh, thank you very much, sir, coming from you.
From the inside of the North Central states, it took me out to South Africa, you brought me back again, and that's incredibly good.
It is indeed.
Thank you.
And I was wondering, when are we going to talk about TV now? About TV,
well, here we are.
Well,
here
really
we are.
interesting, you guys are. And you guys, but you're 10 steps ahead of us somehow. Oh, everywhere. Think about it. The technology is different.
Right.
The pattern is different. And we had an idea in the past where we got confused at a point when the influx of foreign programming and cultures came in. Television stations found it difficult to know what exactly to do. Are we going to keep up the local traditional trend? Whereas the hip hop trend was already everywhere. So some people who owned broadcasting organizations, television particularly, decided to now split into two ideas. That was why we could have NTA Channel 2 and NTA Natural. NTA Channel 2 did all it could to keep up to the trends of the hip-hop. The programming was excellent, but we didn't realize that, would I say it was dangerous then, because most of the kids, tend to lose the trends of culture and tradition. And it took us a long time to get it back.
Well, eventually you did, and that's led us here now, where we see a very interesting use of television as a tool for democracy. There's so many opinions that are being voiced on television, whether it's those of the people or those of even individual broadcasters. And we've seen a change in how broadcast has come from then till now. We've seen people highly opinionated, yet professionals, give their very credible and maybe sometimes colored opinion on television. There's been that change. There's been that shift. There's been that shift in the kind of followership that you also get as a personality on television. Now, I'm wondering how and if this is a good thing for democracy, if this is a good thing for television as a tool itself, where the nuances can be, they're so subjective. What do you think about this?
You know, quite a good observation. In our times, our 40 times, don't think I'm a Methuselah, but really and truly, what we went through was I personally engaged in having experiences on both ways, government and the private. That rules the space in Nigeria. Television, for example, didn't have that clot of defocusing until government did something in the 70s, when you have the likes of AIT brand, Common, okay? I mentioned one or two brands as well. And the problem we had then was based entirely on not only professionals, but on ownership. The ownership structures then determine the scale. You know, you can't work somewhere and you don't do what you've been asked to do. Where you think you could, you know, gravitate into doing what you wanted to do, you will know after a while that doesn't suit you. Something is wrong somewhere. So the problems were so enormous. Government also didn't know exactly how to handle it. And so, and Nigeria is highly politicized. The structures therein are heavy. Parties everywhere. You would be in a studio someday and your news is changing. Your guests are changing. Somebody is lined up at the hour and all of a sudden you don't see the person, somebody else what you see. Somebody pulls the trigger from outside, and that was how we grew in the field. It was very confusing. But we're grateful to a few people who had the effrontery to face the projects head on.
Right.
And one other thing that affected the trend was bad was the incursion of the military regimes. The interregnums we had, they actually saw the media as they owned them, including the furniture. And I've said this before, I don't know if I said it here, that it was very scary then. And whenever you you spoke of changing patterns of military of government, I don't want to mention the COUP, but don't bother to mention it for me. Well, those times, you would be here and all of a sudden you will see jackboots walking.
I heard of those
So,
times.
yeah, I've been reading news before and suddenly they're walking.
So it was risky business being in the media generally.
Very risky. So it affected the structures, affected the interests of other people. Parents were very jittery. You say you want to be a journalist, they're looking at you, are you okay? You know? And these things had a very sore point in our lives. It wasn't good. And now when you look back at what happened then and what we're seeing now, I'm still telling you that there's some management still going on, some control still going on.
I've got a question for you on that one.
The elements are very good.
Yeah.
But some daring stations, I want to say you are, but let's go on, would go to the point of investigative journalism.
Yes, we must.
Which is key at this point.
Yeah.
And I love the way you fact check things. Your fact checking process also helps to develop a credibility.
Right.
Credible stands in the minds of the people.
Right.
And that's the truth. I'm not talking about this station alone, I'm talking about other stations alone
Right.
who have actually thought through things differently and seen the need to also pattern it the way it should go.
Right.
But you have the space now fighting against you, the social space.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So, you know, it's amazing that you're here with us, having to see what the golden age of TV was
and
back
what is.
then, you know. So I'm sure that there were I'm sure that there were some values that defined, you know, your era and the zeal and, you know, the happiness you had just having to talk about what's happening in your country around the globe, and even having to do all that knowing full well that there were some other challenges that was beyond your control. Now, can you share with us what were those values that you think, in as much as we have AI now and you know, we have media and anybody can just post anything of what's happening and you follow through, what are those values that you think we need to hold on to up until now just to make sure that what we are reporting is still as credible as back in the golden years?
Very,
You don't say olden years. It's not that old. Golden is good.
Well, don't deceive yourselves, you know. I come from there, right? No,
We'll stick with gold.
She's right, we're going to golden, I like that. Now, you see, the problem is this. It's not really a problem. When you're asked to do what you love doing best from the inside of you, as a professional, and you are not given the right equipment, despite that, you are creative. There's so many creative programs back in the day. And when I look at them and I measure them to what we have now, okay, not bad, but I said, oh, if only we had cameras that could do 10 things at the same time within the space of the box office. And those things are genuinely being done, okay? I can see them now. And somebody took to the studio the other time, and I said, wow. The space was just about half of the space. But everything was in place. And I said to him, I said, if only this situation happened then, were available then, people would be masters of the game.
Yeah.
So we had commitment, we had loyalty, we had discipline. Discipline in area of, you know, this is your job, go and get it done. The man doesn't know how you're going to do it, you just have to do it. And for some people who went through the rough times, the rough ages where, I'm going to talk about it.
Yes, please.
Elements of emotional intelligence value. Today, the thriving entrepreneurs in this business of the media are people with high emotional intelligence value, who understand that it's not only an EI thing, it's also a social and environmental, impact thing. You have a boss who sees you for the first day and looks at you and goes to your supervisor, please make sure she's not on the news today. Why? He saw you this morning and sensed something was wrong. He wasn't feeling you as feel. Yes. And he ends up saying, there is something wrong with her today. So go to your boss, make sure she's not on the news today. And by the way, ask her to see me. Are you rushing to see your boss? And he said, I'm going on the news now. No, you're not taking the news. This person is taking, but sit down. His first openings, the first question he asks you, you are likely to break down. Do you understand? So there was no gap at all. So those things I saw the way past, they were so unique. It wasn't about the money, yet it was about the money. So if those things had been, we could revisit those times, a lot of people at a particular age will still be practicing now. But I must shock you that some establishments, including radio, don't have professionals. They have professionals working with them, but these professionals are not pensionable. If you work somewhere and you don't think of what's coming to my life after now, you tend to just come in like basically and do what you want and go home. No fun. But I can see you guys and I say, wow, this is love. This is everything coming together. Even when your boss has forgotten that you should have a prep meeting for tomorrow's show, you are reminding him or her. Where are you?
But that is us, isn't it? I mean, like yesterday when we were looking for you on the group meeting.
You found me.
No, I'm not here to raise your shoulders, but you can fly by yourself. Because I can see it. Anybody who has a passion for television, radio, when you see professionals and practitioners working, you will know if there is love. You will know if there is some commitment around that. You will know if it's just casual.
Let's talk about some of the detailed nuances of old television and how it's been transmitted into our modern day television. Let's talk about shows like from 1980 to the old Balamila show. Now, I refer to that show because even if it started the year after I was born, I was still quite, even as a young chap, very enthralled by it.
Balamila started the year after you were born.
Yeah, that's 1982.
Are you serious about that?
Yes.
Okay, fine. I'm coming back to that. Remind me, please.
Golden years.
Golden years, yeah. Golden years.
He's trying to rope me into the golden years.
No. You walked in by yourself.
I see what you're trying to do there. However, there was a very interesting format that he had where satire was a big tool. Satire, however, we saw that in the old NTA news line where we had the likes of Yinka Craig, we had the Franco Lise, who was it? Patrick Oke, exactly. And satire continued, but after a while, it kind of like we didn't see satire anymore. Satire in itself is a great tool for democracy because it's a way of passing the information, digest format. While they're laughing, you put in the truth there, and then they consume it. It's easier than taking the doom and gloom of every single day when it comes to 9 o'clock and it's the newsreel. But we've also seen currently a very heavy use of straight line jacket news delivery, where people even broadcast an opinion and they're able to pass those opinion, and it can or might not taint people's views because we have such a mass audience, and we have to have responsibility. When people pass these information straight jacket, this is my opinion and I think you should take it. I'm not sure about how good or how according to the ethics of broadcasting, where that stands.
Okay.
But satire, on the other hand, is a tool that you could use to pass opinion, but yet it's still couched in humor. What's your take on satire currently, as against what it was from the days of Balamila?
I love this. I love this sequence. For me, it's great. You're taking me back memory lane. The news line those days, I wasn't working with them, but from an angle of where we saw everything, our colleagues and friends, we knew why the news sign took that shape. The news delivery had been too straight and too serious. You sit down here, he sits down here, your scripts are there. And by the way, teleprompting wasn't very common. So, you know, and sometimes you miss your scripts, but come on, the show goes on. But leave, that's another story. But it brings to my mind the fact that somebody at the NTA then was thinking, because they couldn't even sell anything on the news. They couldn't sell much. But when the newsline started, they started infusing book launches. It wasn't free, they paid.
Became a magazine
weddings,
show.
Became a magazine show. Thank you. And it worked. And then you had two witty friends doing the show. And there was a chemistry. And so everybody would want to see. And it was a novel. It was a novel idea. They hadn't seen that before. So it came up. Now, that also started affecting other entertainment programs.
Oh.
And you found people like Atalade coming with Atalade show, the Barbie show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard of the Barbie show.
She hasn't.
It's not moi, it's him, right? This time it's him. Now, the Barbie show, the Balamila show was something very great. And the man was great as well as a presenter. You had to be widely read, read regularly, and you could see the fun in everything. And there was fun in music. Fela's Zombie was fun. But they didn't take it well. But it was fun. You could see other programs just came out. And there are so many.
There was an evolution of sorts.
Came.
Yeah.
Masquerade came.
Yes.
You see, they were all adding fun to viewership.
Right.
It was not, we was not sit down for what about 6 o'clock. It's all show. The show is over. TV is over for the day, and then that's end. 4 to around 6 or so is all gone. Radio could be active a little bit, but they were still doing something. Okay, where music was a passion for radio. Forget it. Slick presenters who could do magic, but for TV they started breaking into drama, and you had the great producers of time. The Jimmy Odumosus, and they were turning things out, and they were working creatively every second of the day, and you'd love to be.
Do we see that diversity now, however?
No,
or are we just all hung up on news, strict reportage?
Very good question. Let me see, the news has changed gradually.
Okay.
It has to be informal, though, yet loaded with content.
Okay.
You have to be on the spot where things are happening. If your outfit is not where it's happening, it's not there. You are actually making the news. You are creating the news with the facts on the table. And you are not lifting the news from any other source. Like, you did something today, you took us to North, and you're talking about that North guy. And the guy who was there, well, he knows the terrain.
Yes, he does.
So his story was real.
Yeah.
And everybody would have loved to watch it. This is great. Well, I would need a prompter to remind me that this is coming up tomorrow. We will be here, we will be there, we will be everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the only
We will
thing
definitely be everywhere in the next couple of months. We're absolutely working on that, because we have a motto here for fearless reporting. And just before Jamil, we actually had Bernard in Kwara State at the scene of the church kidnapping.
I saw that.
So we're trying to hold up our end.
So you make the news, you narrate the news, you tell the news a story, but it's yours.
Yes, indeed.
You own it.
Right.
You own it.
It's unfortunate that we're almost at the end of the show.
Yes, and
we do
before
have
you go back to your golden years.
Tell them to extend it.
Unfortunately, we might not be able to.
Okay,
but thank you for the very interesting bits that you've given us in the comparison between now and then. It's always fantastic having you here. Queen, I'll tell you the story between myself and Mr. Ojekunle here after the show because there's not enough time.
To tell me.
However, we did go out on the streets.
Don't say that story again.
Just not to say it. We did go out on the streets. Well, not on the streets. We took opinion from people on World Television Day 2025. And we asked Nigerians what television means to them today and whether it still plays a central role in shaping public opinion. That's how we're going to leave you today with myself, Queen Celestine, and of course Mr. Tokunbo Ojekunle here. No other person honored. I'm not honored enough. I mean, this is an honor to have him say goodbye with us on the show here today. But let's check the Vox Pop out with our very interesting input from everyone that we met and on that very interesting question. Until tomorrow, however, and after that, it's goodbye from us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Has impacted my life through keeping me informed. It has helped me know what is happening in different parts of the country without being in a particular place.
A lot of benefits we get from watching television for education, information, and also for entertainment. So I don't think television should be limited to only education or information. Entertainment is also very important in our lives as human beings. We need to distress, we need to chill, we need to make yourself happy.
On social media, you're able to comment, repost, and do all sorts. But on television, hardly do you have to like call in and do all sorts of things. So social media is really taking so much of our time, and there are lots of engagement more on social media compared to how it is on television.
So I prefer streaming, reason being that, I could use my phone. I could also use my phone to stream, and I could do other things as well while streaming. But then when it's on TV, you're just on one spot.
I think television knows how to teach kids a lot of cultural things, because when I was growing up, I watched programs like Tales by Moonlight and also some soap operas that were culturally inclined to help groom kids growing up, because these are the kind of things that we watch, and as children we get to learn a lot from what we see on TV. So culturally, I think TV has a major role to play in shaping a child's life.
As someone that grew up watching a lot of television programs with her siblings and parents, I learned a lot about other people's culture, about unity and diversity, about the continent of Africa and the world at large. So I feel like television is actually a great avenue to learn about so many cultures, so many traditions, and so many topics that maybe you're not taught in school.
When I was growing up, there's so much to learn. You learn about Nigeria, you learn about everything, even everything about the world, you learn it. So television has so much to offer, not just for entertainment, not just for news, and they have so much engagement, they have so much of things in different aspects that you can learn so much about.
I'll say television has actually done a lot to, educating people, creating awareness for entertainment and other things. So you can hop on your TV and get to enjoy yourself with your family members, your friends, so it has really done a lot, even in terms of education, right? It helps. There's some specific shows where you get, educated, you get to learn new things. So I think the invention of television has its positive side, and it also has its negative side.
You see programs like Tales by Moonlight, soap operas like Maybe Things Fall Apart, some kiddie shows, a lot of kiddie shows, Kiddie Vision 101, a lot of those kind of programs. It will help in teaching positive lessons to kids, not what we're seeing on TV these days, because there's a whole lot of nudity, there's a whole lot of, permit me to use the word crap, that we show on TV these days, which is not even good for kids to see. But for me to get TV back to being viewed as I viewed it when I was a kid, I like them to bring back all of those kiddie shows, then TV will be what it used to be.
Happy World